And Lord Chaitanya heard this, and he said, please, this is also external. Tell me something more. And Ramananda Rai replied that to practice bhakti or devotional service with knowledge and speculative pursuits, jnana mishra bhakti, is the essence of perfection. And then he quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita, Brahma bhuta prasanatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhutishu mad bhaktim labate param. That when we achieve through jnana the Brahma bhuta stage, where we understand we are not this body, we actually realize we are not this body and mind. They are temporary coverings, like sets of clothes, for the real person, which is the soul. And the soul is Brahman. It is pure, it is spiritual, it is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. When we're able to discriminate between matter and spirit, we understand that the soul is beyond the three modes of material nature. Nasochati nakankshati. It is detached from this physical body. It does not long for what it does not have, and it does not lament for what it loses. It is self-satisfied. Such a soul engages in the service of the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya explained that this is also external. Please explain what is beyond that. And Ramananda Rai replied that devotion unmixed by any of these qualified speculative ideas, devotional service which is pure, without a tinge of speculative knowledge, which is not done simply for one's own liberation, but one is done for the pleasure of the Lord, that is the essence of perfection. And Lord Chaitanya replied, please tell me something more. This is also external. And Ramananda Rai replied that ecstatic love of God is the essence of perfection. Ecstatic love of God means spontaneous devotion. Rupa Goswami describes that pure unalloyed devotion cannot be achieved either by heaps and heaps of pious activities or charity or sacrifices. It cannot be achieved even by realizing you are not this body, but you are the eternal soul. It can only be achieved by the intense greed to have that unalloyed devotion. The intense greed to surrender yourself wholesale for the pleasure of Krishna. And one who hears the glories of the Lord, chants the glories of the Lord, chants the names of the Lord, and is always engrossed in meditation on the Lord, simply with the desire to serve Him and to please Him as the servant of the servant of the servant, such a person achieves spontaneous ecstatic love. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he said, that is all right. But I wish to hear if there is something more than that. And Ramananda Rai replied that pure spontaneous devotion and service to Krishna in a mood of his servant is the essence of perfection. And he described how in the mood of a servant, dasya rasa, one is willing to do everything and anything for the pleasure of the Lord. One is willing to surrender his life or her life simply for the satisfaction of the Lord. And serving with love, ecstatic love. And Lord Chaitanya, he asked Ramananda Rai, That is very good. But is there something more? And Ramananda Rai replied that when dasya rasa, spontaneous ecstatic love as a servant, comes to a higher and deeper degree of love, it becomes sakya rasa. Dasya rasa means you do what the Lord says. But when confidentiality, when intimacy is added to that, it becomes fraternal love. Serving the Lord as a friend. In the spiritual world of Goloka Vrindavan, it is described that even the greatest yogis, and even the greatest jnanis, and even the greatest karmakandis, and even the greatest sages, they may have some reverential conception of Godhead. But these cowherd boys, they are playing with Krishna like a friend. They do not even recognize that he is supreme. They are dancing with him and jumping with him and wrestling with him and playing with him and joking with him. When a deeper sense of love is awakened, this is called sakya rasa. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, can you explain what is beyond that?
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.